Shalom, shalom wa ahaba, mishpaka, shalom wa ahaba. Peace and love, family, peace and love. I want to say shalom to the whole house of Israel, all 12 tribes scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, to wherever we've been driven to the lands of our captivity. I would also like to say shalom to the sojourners, the Gentiles, and the foreigners, and all those who give thanks, honor, and praises to the Elohim, or God of the Bible, and his only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, to whom many of you refer to as Christ. Hallelujah. Mishpachah. In these strange and enlightening times that we live in, and revealing times, and this time of awakening, I want to share a thought with you that came to me from my latest reading. You understand? And just like the title of this video says, Shmad. Shmad, the solution to hood addiction and Democratic Party delusion. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? Shmad. Now, what is Shmad? Let's do a quick search. Shmad, and that is spelled Hebraically with the Shin, the Mem, and the Dalet. Shmad is a Hebrew root word pronounced Shmad, which means to destroy, exterminate, annihilate, or lay waste, often with a sense of utter destruction. You understand that, Mr. Picard? Now, in this book that I'm currently reading, it's called The Empty Wagon. The Empty Wagon. Excuse the glare, Mr. Picard. Excuse the glare. But The Empty Wagon. And it's The Empty Wagon. Zionism's journey from identity crisis to identity theft. And it's a book by Yaakov Shapiro. Now, in this book, because the art of Sun Tzu teaches us that the best way to defeat an enemy is to learn and know the mind of the enemy. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? And those of us who know who we are, why we are, where we are, and who we are intended to be, know that we have people that have made themselves our enemies. You see what I'm saying? In high places. And most of these people who have made themselves our enemies and who control things around us, they keep us in a constant state of deaf, dumb, demonic, demoralized, dysfunctional, and voting Democrat. You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? It's these people that stem from this movement called Zionism. You see what I'm saying? Well, what I've learned from reading this book is that Zionism was created to get rid of, to Shmad, the religious Jews. You understand that, Mr. Picard? That Zionism in its origin, Theodore Herzl and all them boys, didn't even believe in the books, in the religion of their forefathers. You see what I'm saying? Theodore Herzl didn't even believe that the Jewish people were a race. He only believed that they were a religion. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? And he loathed and hated that religion. So him and his cohorts came up with Zionism to make the religious Jews like the Gentiles, like the Goyim, like the nations. You see what I'm saying? So we in our community need to do the exact opposite. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? The way that the Zionists were trying to get their religious people away from their religion, change what it was and change what it meant to be Jewish. You understand what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? And get them and make them more like the world, make them more secular, make them more like the Goy and the Goyim. We need to do the exact opposite. We need to Shmad that hood culture, that dope boy culture, that stripper culture. Because those of us that understand that culture and have an intimate relationship with that culture, we know that the strip club ain't nothing but the black woman in America's street corner. The same way that the black man was hustling crack, dope, and everything else in the 80s, 90s, on up into this era of fentanyl. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? The same way he hustled his product is the same way she hustled her body. It's the same mentality with different products. He hustling dope, she hustling sex. But that same hood mentality and the addiction that our people have to it because of our enemies that control our media outlets and control almost everything that is put into our mind, including our current education system. Know what I mean? Has purposely manipulated our community to be addicted to a culture of self-destruction. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? We are addicted to our own death. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? You know, and the demonic Democratic Party, who has us up under a spell, you see what I'm saying, is hand in hand with perpetuating and keeping that mentality and keeping that hood addiction rolling in our community, because they benefit from our destruction. They benefit from our ignorance. The fact that we can vote for people, politicians, and policies that keep us in poverty, that they can get us worked up emotionally and then convince us to vote against our own interests. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? So the same way that the Zionists created Zionism to destroy the religious aspect of their people, to make them more like the nations, so they could be like other nations. And anybody knows that reads the Bible in any level of intimacy and has any level of understanding knows that when the Israelites came to Samuel and asked him for a king to be like the other nations, that was the beginning of the broken relationship with the Most High. The Most High said, they not turning against you, Samuel. They turning against me. You see what I'm saying? So anybody that understands these things know that the whole concept of Zionism goes against what the Most High intended, Slikah, for the nation of Israel. You see what I'm saying, Mr. Picard? So what these people did to destroy the religiousness, the God-fearingness, the Torah scholarship, which is what they felt most of the other nations hated about the Jewish people. We need to do the exact opposite. We need to destroy the secularism and destroy the worldliness in our people in order to get them back into the ways of the Most High. And that doesn't mean going out here and bashing on our brothers and sisters that are still lost up in the matrix of hood society and democratic brainwashing and up under that democratic spell. We just have to live as an example and destroy that in our lives and in our households, ourselves, and lead as an example for our people. So eventually this frequency comes amongst us all. And that hood foolishness becomes a thing of the past. And the ways and the blessings of the Most High is in our future. And with that, Mr. Picard, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Remember, Shmad, destroy, exterminate, annihilate that hood addiction and that Democratic Party delusion. Hallelujah. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, Mr. Picard. With that, keep your eyes open. Stay prepared so that you don't have to get prepared. And remember that your redemption is near. Until we meet again, Mr. Picard. Kuma Yisrael. Kam Yasha'al. Rise Yisrael. Shalom, Shalom. Solomon, Mr. Picard. Hallelujah.